evening. I've been asked to tell you that the following show is very scary, with stuff that might give your kids nightmares. You see, there are some crybabies out there, religious types mostly, who might be offended. If you are one of them, I advise you to turn off your set now. Come on, I dare you. Chicken! Hey,
Homer, did you just call everyone chicken?
no. I swear on this Bible.
That's not a Bible. That's a book of carpet samples.
Ooh, fuzzy.
Oh, thanks so. The Simpsons, Season 36, Episode 7, titled Treehouse of Horror presents Simpsons Wicked This Way Comes. Now, this story, this episode, is basically like those sort of story episodes. Not Treehouse of Horror itself, but like the one where Homer tells 3 fairy tales, the one where Marge tells 3 history stories. Like those ones where you have 3 stories happening at the same time, but you have like a thin story that kind of connects it all. And that's what we have here. Because the thin story, the thing that kind of connects everything, is that there's a new circus arriving in Springfield, and the Simpsons have walked into this said circus. Lisa isn't so happy about it, like she has cancelled and get rid of. She's the reason that 3 circuses hasn't come to Springfield, and she's like, I have a mission to don't like circuses because of animal cruelty and all that kind of stuff. Well, while she's just walking around, just like, okay, I'm just gonna sit in a corner and just like let the family join their fun, she bumps into this tattoo man, and this tattoo man, tongue twister there. The tattoo man is basically tells stories. So his tattoos tells a story, and he tells 3 stories to Lisa. So the first one, and this is going to be slightly more longer than kind of like Treehouse Horror. It's going to probably be a little bit slightly longer of a video, knowing that we're dealing with 3 stories here, and they don't really connect as much, and it's like Treehouse Horror. Anyway, so the first one, and then there's no titles in these, but the first one is dealing with Bart, about Bart hearing a scream, and he sees this big plug of dirt, and clearly a woman is buried alive and screaming their guts out for, like, oh my god, get me out, like, as a cry for help. And Bart's rushing everywhere he goes. He's, tells Homer and Marge about, hey guys, there's a woman buried alive in dirt, there's a scream. And of course, they don't believe him because he's Bart. They're like, you cried about the boy who cried wolf, but when we showed up, it was just a wolf with a bigger belly. Like, you don't, no one believes Bart. Not Milhouse, not his family, no neighborhood. So he's trying his absolute hardest to make that person, make someone at least believe them, so they can at least get a shovel and dig that person out. So, this one, for me, felt like the most horror aspect of things. Like, it's the most horror episode in this Treehouse of Horror episode. And I felt like that. It felt like going back a little bit old school, where there's a sense of creepiness and terror and kind of a sense of creepiness to it, because it all comes down to Mrs. Milhouse, Milhouse's mom, and how she's kind of becoming all creepy, and they're trying to give Bart a food coma, or at least a milk coma, and so he can forget about this being a woman. So there's a bit of a mystery of that. So it feels like a bit of old school Treehouse of Horror, where they were not afraid to go completely creepiness, and except just doing movie parodies and call it, well, that's a Treehouse of Horror. That's your Treehouse of Horror parodies. 3 parodies, there we go. And this one felt a sense of dread. There's a sense of horror to it, which I quite enjoyed. And the big reveal at the end, and because this one's set in the 1920s, and the jokes about, like, murder was a little bit more acceptable than then they divorce. I thought that was kind of funny, and but people believe that, hey, well, we better not ever judge. We should never judge Bart ever again. And Bart literally says Lisa's a communist, and people buy. So well, I guess Lisa's a communist because he said so. There's a level of humor there. So the second story, is probably the weakest out of the three. Like it felt like, okay, this is what we're doing, and all okay, fine. And it's all around Principal Stinner and Super Constrained Chalmers. How Super Constrained Chalmers finds super annoying, and all the fun little like, oh, we're gonna do Flag Day, and look at all the options that we have for our flags. He's like, dude, it's fucking flags, okay? Let's just move the fuck on of that. But he finds annoying. So, but he bumps into Carl, and Carl says, hey, you can kind of buy this robot to do all the stuff you don't want to do. So you can kind of just have fun and live your day in peace. And that's what he does. But you're like, well, what's the twist? What's the isolation? What's going to build up the plot? Well, the plot is that the robots are starting to become human. They're becoming emotional beings. They care about things. They want to go to the events that they're getting invited to. They want to be like pals and good emotions and all that kind of stuff. And we can't have that. And sure, you have a neat little action sequence and a little fire tree, like the wheel people versus the robotic beings, and how they want to fight each other off. It's fine. It's fine. It's not, for me, it wasn't anything special. Now the next one, the final one, which kind of goes with a Black Mirror kind of route, which is dealing with a world where lowbrow television is banned. So say goodbye to your dancing with stars, or Fighting's home videos, or your sitcoms like Big Bang Theory, and this and that, and competition shows, lowbrow entertainment. The only thing that you are able to watch and not get arrested, or at least get the tapes burnt, is if you watch high level television. If you only watch HBO, pretty much. And we find out Homer, who is part of this elite team, this police force that's there to burn any low ground entertainment, finds high level entertainment like any Sopranos or Successions or whatever to be quite dull and boring, and he's itching for like, what if we had like Konami? What if we did this? What if they did that? Like why does it all have to be like, oh, artsy-fartsy, like it needs to make awards and Emmy nominations kind of stuff, and theorizing. Why can't we just watch dumb stuff? And he actually gets a tape of America's Funny Home Videos and laughs his ass off. And he's like, there's no turning back. I need to get more of this. And then there's a massive chase sequence. And even though I know that I would be fine in this apocalypse, because I'm I'm the person who's like, I was like Bart when Homer's like, let me show you this clip. And he's like, and Bart's like, what's his motivation? What's his background? Why is this happening? And you're just like, for me personally, I'm like, that would be me. That would be me. I won't lie. I would totally be Bart in that situation. I would be fine on watching nothing but like long form HBO, Netflix dramas, for my entertainment. I'm the one who watches Law or SBU as my downtime, as my not thinking show. And there's a little bit of humor in there, where Homer's like, No, I choose the only was crap. I'm like, okay, that's kind of funny. Of that. But it is kind of like a Black Mirror type of way, and how to, and probably also a commentary about how we treat those shows, and how there might be some people who might be a little bit snotty against, like, really? You like Wipeout? Why do you watch Sopranos? Oh, you like this? Why don't you watch, I don't know, Stranger Things? You like Dancing with the Stars? Why don't you go and watch Game of Thrones, or Last of Us, and, you know, all that kind of stuff? Or Fallout, and this and that, and Arcane, and all that. Like, where, you know, there's people out there who will be like that, and it's probably commentary on that. And how probably also probably society as well, probably them in the network, they realize that probably the old way of television is changing, and how, if you really think about it, television wants to be movies and movies want to be TV shows right now. If you really think about it. So, it is actually a really good commentary. And the thing about this episode, just in general, is it's a better episode than the actual Treehouse of Horror episode of this season. As much as I enjoy Dum and all that, I was like, you know what? This is more better. This feels very old school Treehouse of Horror-ness. You know, you get your little creepiness, you get maybe one, like, lighter story, and then you get the one, like, Black Mirror-esque type episode. I quite appreciate it. Anyway, so, but here's the annoying thing. Even though we just had a week gap, we're having another week gap for episode 8. So, and then it's like episodes 9 and 10 are going to be are going to be like a Disney Plus thing. Anyway, but comment below, let me know your thoughts of the episode.